7 changes that Conte has made this season. 11's then. The Leicester 11 is Ron Robert-Zieler in goal, the Germany international signed in the summer from Hanover, and then a defence of Simpson, Morgan, Vasilevsky and Ben Chilwell. He comes into the team as well, as does Demarai Gray, and then Andy King, Drinkwater, Schlupp in midfield with Okazaki and Ahmed Musa, one of the big summer signings for Leicester over the transfer window. He gets a start as well, a rare start for him. The Chelsea 11 is Begovic in goal, Aspel, Quetta, Cahill, Luiz, and a debut for Marcus Alonso. Matic, Fabregas, Victor Moses, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Pedro and Michy Batshuayi also getting a start for Chelsea. So expecting a competitive game, John, but maybe not quite played at the pace of a Premier League match, judging by the first minute or so.
Yeah, I think difficult to judge for Leicester. They've got to try and play at some sort of tempo, really. You know, whatever system that they take, they play like that. Ahmed Musa is very quick. We saw him in the Community Shield, but Ranieri's not really played him and stuck to his guns. He paid a fair bit of money from CSKA Moscow for him, but he's not bothering. Shinji Okazaki plays now. You know, he's not going to play as much now that Slimani had been signed by the Foxes either. And of course, you look at things like that, and then you look at the Chelsea side, Batshuayi coming forward, but Pedro, it's like this is the second string, and Pedro and Fabregas are in it. Not to mention taking another look at David Luiz, who's signed for a load of money, but who I think there are lots of question marks about if he's playing at centre-back, which he is tonight. So there's a lot more questions than answers so far. It'd be an interesting game, this.
Yeah, just inside the first 2 minutes or so, and it's been a fairly tame start, really, with Chelsea enjoying the majority of the possession. Fabregas just plays it out wide on the right-hand side to Azpilicueta. His ball into midfield was aimed up towards Batshuayi. It looked like he might have been caught there, the striker for Chelsea. He goes down holding his back, but he's now just back up on his feet. A little bit of a stern challenge through the back of Batshuayi from, I think it was Wes Morgan, but no foul given, and play continues, and Leicester have it with Demarai Gray, who just feeds it to Simpson, and now clipped back out to Demarai Gray on the right-hand side, the lively winger signed from Birmingham City last season. Gray's attempted crossing takes a deflection, but it's easily gathered by the Chelsea goalkeeper Asmir Begovic. He bowls it out onto the right-hand side, and Chelsea enjoying possession once again in their own half. Demarai Gray is an exciting talent if he can get into the match. He's one of them players that kind of, from what I've seen of him, he's a bit raw and flicks in and out of games, but he's certainly got a bit of talent about him. Yeah,
a tragedy for him is that he doesn't really get much game time. I mean, you know, they do call him off the bench a fair bit, but it's not like, you know, when he was at Birmingham, and clearly he gets in a team week in, week out, a talent that's developing by playing. You know, he's a good player, but how can he develop in a team where he's not really going to quite get in? I mean, now he's got players like Musa to get past as well. He can't make it into the first 11 for the most part, being kept out by Mark Albrighton. So yeah, it's nobody said it was going to be easy getting in a team who are now the champions. We're looking at Batshuayi, and he doesn't look too happy, does he? The man from, I think he's from Bruges, isn't he? Certainly a Belgium international. Yes. Yeah, and yet another Belgium terrific striker, but he looks like he's all right after the early knock.
Yeah, they signed Batshuayi from Marseille in the summer. There was plenty of Premier League interest in him. I think Tottenham and West Ham were also keen on Batshuayi, but he opted for Chelsea. He's not been given a regular start in the Premier League so far, but he comes with a good reputation and plenty of goals for him in the French League last season. We played 4 minutes, no real chances early on. Both these sides just warming up into the occasion. The EFL Cup third round, placing the last 16 up for grabs as Chelsea have it with Fabregas halfway inside their own half, and it's short to Matic, and now David Luiz comes forward with the ball. He's looking for options, but there's not too many in front of him, and he just rolls it back across to Nemanja Matic. We'll try and keep up to date with the other League Cup scores this evening. Some intriguing matches. Bournemouth at home to Preston, Brighton, Reading, Derby, Liverpool, Everton at home to Norwich, Leeds entertain Blackburn, picks it up from a deep position. He tries to then play it back down into the left-hand channel, looking for the run of Jeffrey Schlupp, but it's overhit. It'll be a Chelsea thrown in the right-back position. But after what was a fairly sedate start, John, the pace of the game just picking up in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, the good pick-up there by Wes Morgan in midfield, and drove his team forward. Wes Morgan coming to the veteran stage. I just wonder, how long he and Huth can keep on going. Huth has been rested tonight, but he keeps rolling out. Wes Morgan, he's only one of three that I can think of who would be in Leicester's normal Premier League lineup, with Drinkwater, Danny Simpson as well. Although Danny Simpson had a bit of competition from Hernandez early this season, although in fairness, I don't think either are up to that much. I think Simpson, potential weak link for the Foxes, and certainly Hernandez, he's no better than him, who's taken his place a couple of times this season.
Wes Morgan just has to be alert to get in front of Batshuayi and put the ball out of play for a Chelsea throw-in on the right-hand side. 7 minutes gone, 0-0. No real chances to speak of as yet, as Azpilicueta takes a throw-in and goes back to Cahill inside the Chelsea half. Short to David Luiz, under no pressure at all. He rolls it back to Cahill. And now Azpilicueta again, as Chelsea just are content to knock the ball around in their own half at the moment. The other, I was running through the games this evening before that Chelsea attack before, and the final match that I didn't mention was Nottingham Forest at home to Arsenal, which sees Nicholas Bentner, the former Arsenal player, playing against his old club for Nottingham Forest. No early goals, by the way, in any of the League Cup games so far this evening. We'll try and keep you up to date with the action as it develops on Wednesday night. 8 ties tomorrow as well. Chelsea have it again in their own half. A little bit of a loose touch from Fabregas that was almost seized upon by Shinji Okazaki, but he can't get on the end of it, and Chelsea win it back, and they have it down the left-hand side with Pedro, again running at pace down the left-hand side. Alonso's low ball in, it was a decent ball as well, looking for the run of Batshuayi. He stretched to try and get something on it, but he couldn't quite connect, and it goes through to goalkeeper Zieler, as now Leicester come forward down the left-hand side with Schlupp. Azpilicueta, though, stops him in his tracks with a really good tackle, but that was good play from Chelsea down the left just before.
Yeah, it was, and a good ball there. And then Schlupp just showing what speed he's got. He just rolled the ball past Fabregas and then put his head down. And he would normally be quicker to beat Azpilicueta as well, but he was giving him about a 5-yard start, and he wasn't quite going to win that battle. At the other end, there was a good cross from the left back. But again, they couldn't quite find the mark. I think Chelsea have started the brighter here as we see another cross and a save from Zieler, the German keeper. And then Vasilevsky comes across and he just about deals with the rest of the damage there. Big header from the big guy. But yeah, for me, Chelsea just look the better team so far.
Yeah, they do seem to have settled into their rhythm a little bit quicker, actually, Chelsea. An opportunity for them just before was a decent move, really, down the left-hand side. Marcos Alonso got into a good position. His low cross in towards Batshuayi. He was just ahead of him. But if Batshuayi had have been able to have connected, then it probably would have been the opening goal. We've played nearly 10 minutes, still 0-0. Chelsea have it with Alonso on the halfway line. He rolls it back to David Luiz once again inside the centre circle. Luiz just tries to clip a ball up over the top, and it's a decent looking ball again for Batshuayi, but Batshuayi is in an offside position, and it will be another goal kick to Leicester. But that's an obvious tactic that Chelsea are deploying this evening, in that when Luiz gets it, he's looking to try and play it over the top.
Yeah, I think they maybe feel that there's a lack of pace in the back line, which is pretty much the story for Leicester, full stop. But just look at Vasilevsky coming to clear that a cross out before that, and it clearly seemed to handle the ball when he came out. Ball, I mean, he's got a big bandage down the left arm, and well, he didn't get any head on that. It looked like he just cleared these lines, but in his first appearance of the season, he might have been called for a penalty for handball there. He looked fairly clear.
Yeah, it was sort of he jumped and it looked like he was trying to head it away, and then he kind of misjudged his jump, and it might have just brushed his arm as he was sort of coming back down to the ground. But yeah, whether or not it was a penalty,
I don't think he intended it.
No, there was no deliberate attempt at all to play the ball, but you're right, it could have easily come off his arm. Anyway, the referee didn't give it, and play continues as Musa is caught offside now for Leicester at the other end. early stages of the EFL Cup match. It's still Leicester 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea have started the brighter of the two sides. They have had the ball in the back of the net through Pedro. A long ball up over the top from David Luiz, but Pedro was just about offside. He rounded goalkeeper Zila and put it into the empty net, but the flag was up. There was also the hint of a possible penalty for Chelsea not too long ago when Marcin Vasilevski tried to off it from Cahill. He goes down, does Musa. Cahill turns away. Referee's having none of it, even though there might have been some claims for a Leicester City penalty there. Was he brushed off the ball?
There were two claims for a penalty there, and I think most definitely there was one. Firstly, again, you know, if you worry about Cahill and David Luiz at the back, then you're right to, because they're, you know, a poor bit of play. Okazaki reads it, wins the ball, finds Musa, his pace takes him into the box. I think in and amongst all that, there were a couple of challenges, and you know, I'm not sure that they were particularly clean. I think there may have been contact. Okazaki, in the first place, gets dragged back by Cahill. That's one outside the box. There's a shove in the back on Musa there from Cahill while he's inside the area. And there's no contact with the ball, is there? I mean, for me, that's a penalty kick, and it just wasn't given. Musa's battling away, shoving the back when he's not on the ball. It's a stupid challenge from Cahill, and he's dead lucky that there's no penalty there.
Yeah, I think it probably was a penalty. Referee didn't really ever look like he was interested at all, Bobby Madley. But as John says, he had his hands on the back there, Cahill, of Musa, and there was no contact anywhere near the ball, and it was a clumsy tackle from Cahill. A lot of other referees, I think, would have given that, but the referee said no. And it still remains 0-0 as Chelsea switch it well out onto the left-hand side, and Pedro, he controls it down by near the byline. His crossing comes off Simpson, and it will be a Chelsea corner down the left-hand side. I think Chelsea have got away with one, though. We were talking about a debatable penalty at the other end, but that was much more clear-cut. But Musa was battling through after Cahill's poor touch had presented him with the ball.